Whalefall, Gone and Forgotten, Episode 7, How the Forest Sings. Field Notes, File 7, Ophelia Colt recording at 3:25 p.m. on October 3rd. Miss Rebecca Knock,
Becky.
Yes, Becky, seems to be convinced that she has the ability to get me into the Lake Fargo Morgue.
Not just convinced. Confident.
We can't just walk into a morgue. They have security and protocols.
What happened to looking for something the cops don't know?
That's different. This is a government building. Where are you going? You can't just go back there.
Watch me.
Excuse me, I'm sorry ladies, but you can't just walk back there.
Told you.
Just watch and learn. Oh, hi there, Officer Triplet. This is my friend Ophelia. She's new in town and I'm giving her a tour. Daddy also asked me to pass this along to you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Miss Knock. Becky, I didn't recognize you. Now, what have we... right away, ma'am.
Thank you.
What was on that note?
Just a little blackmail. Being the mayor's daughter means there's plenty of room for gossip if you know where to look.
I see.
Also, I swiped her keys.
I didn't see you do that.
You run along and snoop. I don't need dead body nightmares, especially if he's full of holes like the news said. Ugh.
Okay. I am inside the mortuary cooler room. There are, not a lot of bodies here. There are tags on each drawer with the date, so... here we go. Not as bad as I thought. The holes are definitely interesting. They definitely seem to come from the inside going out. Skin and muscle beneath seem to have some markings and bruising, indications that the holes were made while the victim was alive. The holes are... they seem to be all over the body, but largely centered around the joints. It's interesting. Along with the bruising and other skin damage, there seems to be very similar damage around the top of the holes, like the victim was raised up by something strung through them. I wonder... I need to flip him over. Come on. Yep, heavy. Come on, there we go. Yes, more holes on the back, all with the same sort of damage to the skin. A few look as if they were torn a bit as the body was hung. Can't seem to find an origin point. None of these wounds seem any older than the others. They just... It's like his skin burst open like flowers, then he was hoisted up in the air for some time. What does this have to do with the... Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Look, I'm gonna hold you to your promise, alright? I don't want the cops coming after me because you went and broke your word. I'll tell you what happened to Charlie, and then I'm gone. I mean, what do you think two criminals are up to out in the woods of the Rockies? We had a hit and needed to clean it up. Charlie and I got assigned to this pathetic guy who owed the boss money. I don't know the full story. I didn't need to know. He borrowed some cash, blew it all, never paid it back. Obviously, we would need to take care of things eventually. I won't sugarcoat it. We followed him for about a week, then cornered him outside a grocery store. We gagged him, dragged him around back to be tied up, then bundled him in our truck where he kicked and thrashed until I got in the seat next to him and pressed a gun to his temple. Then he was real still. I didn't know the area well, but Charlie did. He took us right into the woods around this nothing of a town called Lake Fargo. We didn't cross the bridge into town. Instead, we turned off an old hunting trail. The sun had long set, and there were no streetlights out there. The only light we had was that of our headlights. All we could see before us was the dirt path and the long branches of the trees that whipped at our side windows. This guy, hell, I don't even remember his name, started shaking and crying and pissing himself with fear. Charlie laughed, then immediately swore and slammed the brakes. I looked forward to see a deer in the road, just before we ran into it. We stopped hard. I hit the chair in front of me. Charlie thankfully had a seatbelt on. Our weeping passenger? He went careening through the windshield and landed on his head. His neck snapped on impact, his body flopping to the ground like rubber. The truck was toast. We climbed out of it holding our spinning heads and staring at the wreckage. The lights still worked, shining on the two bodies. Our Mark was lying there with his neck at the wrong angle. The deer, which we could now see was a buck, was caved in on one side. Its legs were shattered, almost wrapping around each other. One of the antlers was broken off and landed somewhere unseen. The side of its head was skinned by the road, left exposed when it rolled over. Its eye, blank and milky, stared up at us from where it hung loose, knocked from its socket. It didn't seem right, like the proportions were off. A little too human in the eyes. Charlie was a little shaken by the crash, but one shove got him focused and we walked over to the body of our charge. Together, we hefted him up and started walking into the woods. I held his hands and Charlie held his feet, and by the light of the damn moon, we shuffled his sorry ass all the way into the trees, getting as close as we could to the water. The most we could see was the stark, bright white of the birch trees around us, so we began to play it by ear and listen out for the sound of lapping water. Eventually, we made it to the edge of the lake, and with a few hefty swings, we flung our Mark into it. He made a considerable splash, then sank below. We watched him drift down and the water still, leaving nothing but a ripple to expose what we did. I can't promise I felt anything about it. Once he was good and gone, we turned back and started walking to the truck. We didn't talk, but Charlie lit a cigarette. He puffed away and I watched the occasional ember dance in the wind. Maybe it was the crash or the state of that deer, but Charlie seemed to suck that cigarette down. He knew better than to flick the butt away, so he snubbed it with his boot and tucked it behind his ear. And then he pulled out a flashlight and gave us a little more to work with than just the moon. We hadn't gotten back to the truck or even to the road, so the body of that deer should not have been there when he turned on the light. But there it was, right in the middle, like his light was a target. "This holler belongs to something," Charlie said, not taking his eyes off the thing that was definitely not a deer. I don't remember exactly what I said, probably some kind of swear, but we picked up the pace. We went from a walk to a run in short order. We passed by those birch trees, standing tall like soldiers, their eyes watching us. We found ourselves in front of the deer over and over again. This time Charlie swore, and by the fifth time, he threw his flashlight down in rage. The glass shattered on the ground, and we just stood there, panting. That was when we heard it. A third set of breathing lungs with this popping wheeze of pneumonia and the horrible rattling of a crushed esophagus. A branch snapped behind us. I whirled around, smacking my pocket for a phone or a light. Of course, they were in the truck. I couldn't see anything. Charlie kept his eyes forward, swearing more and more under his breath until he started to whisper, "I can hear her. I can hear her song. She can see us, Rye." I didn't see shit, and I told him as much. I certainly didn't hear a song. In fact, I didn't hear anything. The ambient sounds of the Arkansas woods had completely vanished. Even the lake was silent. I can see into her eye, and she can see into me. Charlie's voice was choked and tight. When I looked at him, I thought he had gone pale with fright. I grabbed his hand and pulled, trying to get him to run, but he didn't budge. Not because he didn't run, but because his feet were no longer feet. He'd sprouted roots, growing deep into the ground. His skin was pale and flaking, not with fear, but because it was more like bark now. I could hear the snapping and warping of wood and branch. The air left Charlie's lungs as they hardened in his chest. I watched him grow taller, reaching higher into the air. His hands splayed and his fingers broke, each one becoming a twisting branch with leaves the color of blood. I could feel the eyes. Every birch tree around me, all with their wooden eyes, seemed to watch the scene. Deep bruises swelled on Charlie's skin, then spilled open as the eyes blinked back bloody tears. It was indeed blood that ran down Charlie's trunk into the ground he was now rooted in. Next to him stood the thing that was never a deer. Its many-jointed limbs shouldn't have supported it. Its lolling eye and skinned face was almost certainly human, while the other half was still more like a deer. Its side, though caved in and bleeding, was sucking in air. It stared at me, silent and awful, waiting for me to do something. For a moment, I was worried I too was becoming a man who was a tree. It felt utterly impossible to move my feet. I couldn't look away, just kept staring at Charlie's stretched and warped face. Then the deer took a single step towards me, and I took off in the opposite direction. I found the truck without a problem, grabbed my phone, and kept running. I didn't stop until I found Lake Fargo city limit sign. I crossed the bridge to the island on foot. I wandered until I found the one bar in town. Plan B, it was called. You know the rest. Now get out of my face. I'm done talking. What the fuck? Why was this? This has nothing to do with the body. I mean, he calls this place the Rockies. How am I supposed to trust any of this? Maybe people here are just bad at geography. Even the woman who drove me here called this place Appalachia when it is clearly the Ozarks. Oh. What did I say about the rot? It's, spores, mushrooms, and spatial warping. Shit.
Well, how was it? Oh my god, really? Where was it?
Under the body.
Oh, yeah, and you're holding it? Ugh.
I'm wearing gloves. Just keep walking. I have some research to do. My foot's asleep. I'm sitting on the floor. My foot's asleep. Hello. Whalefall, Episode 7, How the Forest Sings, was written, edited, and produced by me, Kat Duncan. It was Ophelia, as always, and the lovely Becky, Miss Chimera the Kid. All of their social medias will be in the description below, as well as all of the social medias for this podcast, including Kofi and Patreon, in case you want to support the show a little bit. It'd be real nice if you did. I just hit my elbow on a door. Anyway, I hope you liked this episode. I'm sorry about February and missing it. It's been a real rough time lately. I'm trying to get back on track with this one. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope, you're getting into the mystery. See you next time. Okay, thanks. I love you, bye.